Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Arkey, the head of communications for Steemit, and today I'm here with Justin, our head of engineering. He's going to answer a couple of brief questions for us, starting with what his background is. So, hey Justin.
Hey there.
So, could you tell us about your background, how you came to Steem?
I've been working in various technical roles for 20 years now. Everything from operations to network security, software engineering, systems administration, and project management. Um, and really the thing that brought me to Steem that I found really interesting about Steem when I first heard about it is it's kind of just like where with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, where one of the primary goals is to have a currency that can't be easily taken away, that you have full ownership over. I see Steem as something where your voice can't easily be taken away. And that's really important because everyone needs a platform. Everyone needs a voice. And I think Steem is the thing that can really deliver that to people, just as Bitcoin can deliver a currency to everyone, as well can Steem, since it's also a cryptocurrency, of course. But yeah, all of those things, all of those roles that I had previously filled eventually kind of turned into taking on head of engineering at a tech startup. And because you really need background in all of those things, there's just so many different things that can fly at you, especially working in a startup versus a large organization. It sometimes can be a lot less focused. There's just a lot of things to have to keep track of. So experience in all those areas is definitely beneficial.
Yeah, so maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about all the variety of things that you have to deal with, because I think a lot of people don't appreciate what it takes to run a blockchain team that not only, of course, upgrades the blockchain, but also produces a real product in Steemit.com. There's a lot going on the back end, and it's your job, correct me if I'm wrong, to oversee all of these different projects that we're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true. And it's also quite a bit different than other organizations in that we are kind of two or three organizations in one. One, we're a blockchain company, and we have to work on the actual back end, which is a blockchain. And then we also have the front end, which is Steemit.com, which is a web app. Most companies aren't dealing with both of these things at the same time. So that makes it even more so complicated.
So could you maybe explain some specific things? Like, I know you deal a lot with AWS. We get DOS attacks on Steemit.com. We've even had denial of service attacks on the blockchain. So there's a lot of like infrastructure involved with all of these things. Are there any kind of specific things you can just highlight to give people some insights into what it takes to actually keep all of this stuff functioning?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of moving parts. Our infrastructure is made up of a lot of different components, and we certainly try to automate as much as possible. In the past, you would normally need a large systems administration team to handle the amount of infrastructure that we have to host Steemit.com. Starting from the beginning, back in 2016, that was our goal, was to have a really modern infrastructure that requires a smaller number of people to keep running. Lots of things such as auto scaling and automatic healing of instances, and things that take care of themselves as much as possible, at least. But we've certainly had a lot of scaling challenges, simply because this is something that no one's ever really done before. No one's tried to do a social media network on a blockchain. We've had to tackle problems that no one else has before. And I think that really positions us in a place where we can scale to the masses. And I think that's really the goal, is to help Steem become a household name. Right now, Steem, people see it as steemit.com, which is a Reddit-like site. But in reality, Steem could be powering the next Instagram or the next Twitter or the next Facebook. It can do all of those things. Just because the original proof of concept, steemit.com, is a Reddit-like site, doesn't mean that'll eventually be the most popular application on Steem. And I think that's part of the real value proposition with Steem.
Yeah, so where do you see Steem going? Where do you see Steem in 5 years? What does it become?
So I really hope to see it become a household name, that it's something that everyone sees, and on whatever application they happen to be using, they'll see the little thing at the bottom there that says powered by Steem, and it'll just become commonplace that that's how you do social media and cryptocurrency in the future.
Do you see it changing in any ways from what it is now? I mean, we're talking about hive mind, communities, SMTs. Are these things that you think about and how they're going to change the blockchain, or is your focus primarily on just making sure fires are being put out and the infrastructure can support whatever Steem evolves to become?
Yeah, it's a good question. As far as putting out fires, we put out a lot of fires, but not recently. We actually did a really good job taking care of those things last year. I know a lot of the community was wondering why we weren't delivering certain things on time, but that's because we were tackling problems that no one had even thought of before, because no one's done this before. So we really had to handle those things before we could scale this to the masses. And since we did that, I think that's put us in a really good position today, with Steem being one of, if not the most advanced blockchain in many different ways. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those are all the questions I have today. So I know you're super busy. I want to let you get back to work. Thanks for taking out the time to speak to me and to speak to the Steem users.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew.